Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Elizibar. This is a review of Deceased Unkillables number 1, which is sort of a sequel to Deceased, but not really because it takes place at the same time. I kind of feel like we're going to keep reliving like these same 2 or 3 days over and over again in different miniseries. It's weird. But you're looking at two things I really liked right now. I'll give you just a second to look at them. Okay, you've had a chance to look at them. The title. That's what I want to start with is this title. It's pretty cool. You've got the Deceased logo here, but you've also got this tire tread thing, which is great. It kind of ties into stuff in the book. Like, that's fun. That's awesome. Stuff that's on the cover should reflect what's in the book, which is also kind of where this falls down. All these characters are in the book, but except for Deathstroke, they're not really in the book. You know what I mean? There's like a few pages with all these characters, and they're not doing this, which is really awesome, by the way. This is a great cover. It's dynamic. It's exciting. It shows all these supervillains being awesome. You know, you got Deadshot shooting people, Deathstroke, machine gunning them. That's Lady Shiva, Cheetah, Bane being huge and hulking. Then Solomon Grundy right behind him being even more hulking. Captain Cold over here. In fact, in a zombie apocalypse, wouldn't you want the guy who's already dead on your side? Like, that just makes so much sense. All right, we got zombies everywhere. Send in Grundy. You know, that would be my plan. So things I like. The art is often pretty good. There's some cool stuff. I really like the way Deathstroke looks right here on this cover page. He looks fantastic sitting on that motorcycle. It looks awesome. It looks super duper awesome. This dude drew his armor and his mask really well. Oh man. That's good times. I'm watching all that stuff on Amazon Prime, so I don't need to do that, but it's nice to know that the option exists. I'm kind of skipping over the plotty stuff because I want to get to things I like. So the first part of the book is all about Deathstroke, and we'll come back to that in a second when we're talking about things I don't like. But this stuff in the Batcave, I really like the way it is structured because, you know, Red Hood, Todd, he comes home. Oh gosh, do I have the right Robin? Yeah, Jason Todd. Okay. He comes home, you know, they're all dead. He's got to bury them, and he takes care of it. He takes care of it, man. It's just him and Ace. And then he's like, all right, I got to find everybody else, which leads to him. You ready? You ready for this? It totally leads to him going to the GCPD to pick up Cassandra and Jim Gordon. Now, she's being awesome. It's way awesome. She's one of the deadliest hand-to-hand combatants in the world, and she is kicking and breaking zombie necks everywhere, taking zombies out. Jim and Bullock, they're fighting for survival against their friends, their colleagues. This is like some heavy stuff, dude. As soon as he's not thinking about survival, he is going to be sitting down and going, man, I can't believe all that stuff we had to go do. It's rough. Bullock buys it, as you can see right here, and we'll come back to this, but this is really cool. Like, he's like, kill me, and Jim can't quite bring himself to do it, but she's super pragmatic. She takes care of it. Bullock will not be a zombie. Let me get the. This is like one of those moments that's super, like, makes you go, yeah! Remember, I said, like, the tread, right? The freaking Batmobile shows up, like, often enough in this book. It might as well be a character. It's great. The Batmobile looks cool. The Batmobile acts awesome. It shows up like the cavalry with Jason Todd inside. It's wonderful. It's a lot of fun to read this book. Now, we've talked about like the stuff I liked, and there's a lot there. Let's talk about some of the stuff I don't like. So, Deathstroke gets turned into a zombie, and then he recovers. Like, this isn't very far into the book. There's only a few pages. This is like the setup. Deathstroke recovers from being a zombie. What? Okay, this zombie plague has claimed, you know, Superman, Batman, like if you name it, they're probably a zombie. And you're telling me that Deathstroke the Terminator is somehow able to get cured? Yeah, he's got like that healing factor stuff, but come on. You can put a bullet hole in Superman and it heals up real fast because he's a Kryptonian. You're telling me that this stuff, his biology, is going to take out the anti-life equation as a virus? That thing turns new gods into zombies, you know? That's a little ridiculous. So the fundamental premise of the book, I have just a little bit of trouble accepting. Later on, he's going to go rescue Ravager from off of a building. I should have showed this as one of the things I like. I should have showed it as something I like because Zombie Man-Bat looks pretty cool. The fact that Zombie Man-Bat basically takes Deathstroke out, not so cool. It looks good though, doesn't it? It's kind of ridiculous for Deathstroke the Terminator, the guy who can, keep a Kryptonian off guard, who can take out, the entire Teen Titans, basically, gets jobbed by Man-Bat. No, it doesn't quite go down that way. Spoilers, there's lots of spoilers. I'm trying to dance around some of them. But that was kind of like, eh. Later on, we see these other villains, and the Creeper, I'm not even going to show any of that, but the Creeper is super cringy, which I guess it kind of goes with his name, but he's not a character I'm extraordinarily familiar with, so I don't know if that's in or out of character for him. It just felt odd. And the thing that really kind of lets the book down are people's faces. The way they're drawn, show her. The way they're drawn, it reminds me of Topia, which is an indie book, Kickstarter. See, I got it right here. Let's just look at Red Hood over here. And let me find the page I'm looking for. Different artist, very similar style. The style over here works. This is like a gritty, grungy indie book. But this is a DC superhero title. I expect my faces to look a little bit better. In fact, I'm not sure his facial structure, there we go, I can speak English, stays on model the whole time. It might just be some of the camera angles chosen, but the faces have this odd look to them I can't really describe. And one thing that this book could have done with that I think would have been really fun is if it had just kind of embraced the offbeat nature of its art and went like full crazy color scheme. Let me pull up a page in Topia to show you exactly what I mean. I'm trying to find one of these pages that's got a lot of like this crazy pink and stuff. That's not quite what I'm looking for. Maybe earlier in the book. Oh, actually the cityscape will do. So you got this absolutely crazy looking stuff. I think maybe if this book had been colored that way, it could have been like over the top. Like it's already kind of outside the norm for what you expect, and there's a little bit of experimentation with color when they're in the Batmobile here. Everything's got this red cast to it. It looks pretty good. Oh, that's even more like Topia styled, except more detailed. So the art, and specifically, not even like most of the art, it's specifically just the faces look kind of funny. Bullock. Bullock. You've already seen that page. Let me go back to it. Like right here, that's a lot of emotion and stuff, but something about it just looks off for the shape of his head. I don't know. I can't explain it, and I'd have to sit down and really like start sketching it out to figure out why. And I'm not that good of an artist. So overall, it was an alright book. I had a lot of fun reading it. I think it sets up for something really cool to happen in the next 2 issues. In this issue, the Red Hood stuff was a lot more interesting than the stuff with the villains. I think that's going to flip-flop in the next issue, and the villains are really going to kind of take the spotlight. It's also kind of cool that there's 2 different stories. There's the what's going on with Deathstroke story, and then there's the what's going on with the Red Hood story. So I think kind of approaching it from 2 different directions is cool. They must meet at some point in the middle. Otherwise, I'm not sure why you would take 2 different, like start with 2 different groups of characters if you're not going to mash them together. So probably by issue 3, they're going to run together somehow. I'm looking forward to seeing how that happens. And here's a controversial statement, all right? We're just going to kind of look here. These dudes that he's here to kill in the opening scene, they're already pretty bad. Like, you already know these guys are not nice people. Not from the house, but from the narration. Deathstroke didn't like Kentucky, but $9 million was $9 million. I don't know why he doesn't like Kentucky. Why he's prejudiced against it. Some bastard set fire to a few churches, and someone in those churches clearly didn't believe in turning the other cheek, so they hired Deathstroke to pay a visit. We're doing good. Alright, so this is a superhero world. There's lots of superheroes, there's lots of supervillains, there's lots of crazy paramilitary organizations. You know, maybe some Leviathan guy decided to, he's like fighting a war against like the governor or something, and the governor's the one that came up with the $9 million or whatever. You know, like there's some room for some crazy stuff like that. That's not what we get, though. We get something stereotypical. You know what? Those country hicks, there's only one kind of person they can be, right? It's not even historically accurate. And what I mean by that is there's one state in the United States who, for like 30 years, had an actual organized political party. And I'm talking back in the 40s. I'm talking in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Those people, the villains of World War II, the people who lost the war, those monsters who follow a monstrous philosophy, they had an organized political party. They even went to march in some town, I forget what the name of it was, and the ACLU sued the government to make sure that they could march because, you know, the United States has this thing called freedom of speech. And so I'm kind of tired of seeing people from Kentucky stereotyped in this way. If it had been in Illinois, I wouldn't even have batted an eye. If it had been like anything else in Kentucky, I probably wouldn't have batted an eye. But man, every time I turn around, I see in the news or whatever, Kentucky, like they find that one article where like drunk Kentucky man rides exploding horse through state capitol or whatever. And it's like, that's not even what happens in that state. Maybe I'm a little sensitive because I'm from there, but I see this kind of stuff in the media all the time. I'm sure people that are from whatever area feel that way about their particular area. Like people from Florida, man, they got to be sick of Florida man, right? But Florida man keeps showing up. Florida man is the greatest superhero the world's ever known. But the funny thing is, I mocked this a little bit on Twitter, and I was called some stuff. Let me scroll down here so you can see. So here's what I said. I rolled my eyes so hard I got whiplash. Rain Throwaway, who is a very well-adjusted person, I'll go ahead and add. He's a very well-adjusted individual. It physically hurt me. That's not what I said. I agree with this sentiment. I'm right there with Luke. I'm just straight up called one. And, oh, look. I was like, who do I sue? Like, this is just a joke. Who do I lodge a wrongful injury suit against? Probably yourself for being a bleep. Oh, thank you, Zach. Thank you. People, man. Number one, they shouldn't even have been in this discussion because this discussion was like me and Rick and some Rice, whatever you want to call him. That's just Twitter for you. I'm about to lose my voice or something here, so I'll let you all go. Have a great day. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.